In the electrifying hush of a jam-packed courtroom, where the air buzzed with anticipation like a storm about to break, my entitled daughter Sophia, 28, decked out in a sharp designer suit that screamed "I've already won," locked eyes with me from across the room, her lips curling into that infuriating, triumphant sneer. She was suing me, her own flesh and blood, for a whopping $500,000 slice of her late mother's inheritance, claiming it was her right and that I was some greedy old man hoarding it all. The judge, a battle-hardened woman in her late 60s with a gaze that could slice through steel and a reputation for zero tolerance on nonsense, peered over her rimless glasses and dropped the hammer question, "Miss Rivera, are you absolutely sure you want to pursue this? Once we dive in, there's no turning back." Sophia tossed her perfectly highlighted hair, let out a sharp, mocking laugh that echoed off the wood-paneled walls, and fired back, "Oh, without a doubt, Your Honor. He's been controlling and stingy for years, letting me scrape by while he sits on a fortune. It's time he pays what he owes me." The gallery erupted in shocked murmurs, spectators whipped out their phones, fingers flying to record what they figured was my public humiliation. I sat there at the defendant's table, my heart pounding like a jackhammer in my chest, knuckles white as I gripped the edge of the wood, but inside, I was calm as a predator in wait. Because what Sophia didn't know, what nobody in that room except me and my razor-sharp lawyer knew, was that I'd spent the past 2 grueling years piecing together a fortress of evidence, uncovering her dirty secrets, and setting up a trap so airtight it would not just crush her case but flip her world upside down. One forgotten clause in the will, one stack of damning documents, one explosive revelation. The judge nodded slowly, her voice dropping like a guillotine. "Very well. Bailiff, bring in the exhibits. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes." Sophia's smirk flickered, just for a split second, as the room held its collective breath. What unfolded next wasn't just a twist, it was a total demolition, leaving her stripped bare, homeless, penniless, and crawling back to the father she'd tried to bury alive. Let me take you back to where this nightmare started, so you understand the full gut-wrenching betrayal. I'm Marcus Rivera, 58 now, a blue-collar mechanic who's spent his life under the hood of cars, grease-stained hands building a stable world from scratch in our quiet suburban neighborhood. My late wife, Elena, my rock, my everything, was the financial wizard of the family. An accountant by trade, she turned our modest savings into a solid nest egg over 3 decades, a cozy 3-bedroom house, retirement funds, and that $500,000 investment portfolio she'd nurtured like a garden. When aggressive cancer hit her 5 years ago, it was a brutal fight, chemo sessions that left her frail but fierce, late nights where I'd hold her hand as she whispered about our future. She passed 3 years back, and her will was crystal clear, drafted with a lawyer's precision to protect everyone. The house and day-to-day funds went to me for living and to honor her love for local charities. Sophia, our only kid, got the lion's share of the portfolio, but deferred. It kicked in only after I passed or she hit 35, whichever came later, and only if she showed responsible conduct as judged by the trust overseers. Elena added that clause because she saw the storm brewing in Sophia early on. We both did. See, Sophia wasn't always this way, or maybe she was, and we just blinded ourselves with parental love. As a kid, she was our princess, ballet lessons, birthday parties with pony rides, the works. We spoiled her rotten, thinking it was harmless affection. But by her teens, the entitlement crept in like poison ivy, demanding the latest gadgets, throwing tantrums if we said no. But all my friends have it, she'd whine, slamming doors that shook the house. College? She partied through it, flunking classes while we footed the bill, quitting part-time jobs because they were beneath her. Elena tried to rein her in with tough talks, "Soph, life's not a handout, you gotta earn it." Sophia would roll her eyes, call her mom overdramatic, and storm out. When Elena got sick, that's when the mask really slipped. Sophia showed up maybe 3 times during those agonizing months, once to check in but really to pry about the will over hospital jello, complaining the room smelled gross, another time to borrow money for a girl's trip to de-stress, and the last, post-funeral, to hug me stiffly before vanishing into her social whirl. 4 months after, radio silence. Then, bam, the probate reading hits, and suddenly she's blowing up my phone. "Dad, where's my inheritance? I need it now, rent's killing me, and my car's acting up." I explained the deferral gently, over coffee at our kitchen table, her favorite spot growing up. "It's for your future, honey. Mom wanted you secure." Her face twisted in rage. "Secure? You're joking. That's my money. She'd want me living my best life, not scraping by while you hoard it." The calls escalated to screams, accusations I was senile from grief, threats to get lawyers involved. She even showed up unannounced one night, banging on the door at 2 a.m., reeking of wine. "Open up, old man. We need to talk about what's mine." I stood firm, but it broke me, nights alone in our empty bed, staring at Elena's photo, whispering, "What did we do wrong?" When she slapped me with the lawsuit papers, served right at my garage while I was elbow deep in an engine, the process server smirking as customers gawked, it was like a gut punch. Her claims? I unduly influenced Elena's will, that I was elderly and manipulative, demanding the full $500,000 immediately plus emotional damages and her legal fees. She blasted it on social media, Instagram stories of her struggles in a luxury apartment, TikToks ranting about toxic parents hoarding wealth, hashtags like #inheritance justice, #boomergreed. Friends called me worried. "Marcus, is this true?" Strangers messaged hate. I could have caved, but Elena's voice echoed in my head, "Protect our legacy." So I lawyered up, hired Tom, a bulldog attorney with a track record of turning tables. For 2 years, we dug deep, quiet as shadows. Bank audits revealed Sophia had sneaked into Elena's accounts during her weakest chemo days, forging a power of attorney with a shady notary friend, draining $120,000 for shopping sprees, trips to Ibiza, and a down payment on her condo. Texts to her pals, "Mom's out of it, easy money, LOL. Dad won't notice." Emails plotting to challenge the will once she's gone. And the cherry on top? Elena's ironclad no contest clause: contest the will with fraud or bad faith, and you forfeit everything, plus repay any borrowed funds with penalties. We had it all locked and loaded, waiting for her to pull the trigger. Court day exploded like fireworks. Sophia's slick lawyer, a young hotshot in a tailored suit, strutted like a peacock, flashing slides of my extravagant life, photos of my tool-filled garage, my job, "You idiot," and our humble home labeled hoarded assets. Sophia took the stand, dabbing fake tears with a monogrammed handkerchief. "He's always controlled the money, Your Honor. I can barely afford my bills while he lives off Mom's hard work." It's heartbreaking. The judge's eyebrow arched, but she let it play. Then Tom rose, voice steady as a surgeon's scalpel. "Your Honor, Exhibit A, fraudulent withdrawals." The screen lit up with bank statements, $120K siphoned straight to Sophia's accounts, timestamps matching her visits. The room gasped, Sophia's jaw dropped, color fleeing her face. "That's..." I was helping Mom with bills. Tom didn't flinch. Exhibit B, communications. Texts and emails scrolled. "Gonna bleed Dad dry once I get the cash. Inheritance hack. Act nice. Grab the POA." Whispers turned to outright chatter. Sophia gripped the stand, knuckles white. "Those are taken out of context." Then the nuke, Exhibit C, the no contest clause, read aloud by the judge in a tone that brooked no argument. "Miss Rivera, your fraudulent actions activate this provision." Claim denied. You owe restitution, $120,000 principal, plus 15% compound interest, totaling $148,000, court costs of $25,000, and $50,000 in sanctions for bad faith. Sophia's eyes bulged, voice a shriek. What? No, this is insane. Dad, tell them it's a mistake. But the judge hammered on, non-payment in 30 days triggers asset seizure, your condominium, vehicle, accounts, all liquidated to satisfy the debt. Case closed. The gavel cracked like thunder. Sophia crumpled, sobbing hysterically as bailiffs approached. Reporters surged forward, cameras flashing. She was let out in a daze, the once smug princess now a shattered mess. The fallout hit like a hurricane, no mercy in sight. Her swanky condo, overlooking the city, filled with designer furniture she bragged about on Insta, was foreclosed in a blitz. I watched from afar as movers hauled her stuff to auction, her screaming at them from the sidewalk, "That's my life you're taking." The BMW she'd leased with family funds? Repo'd in broad daylight at her yoga class, towed away while classmates filmed, her chasing it barefoot. Stop. That's mine. Banks froze her cards, old debts from ignored student loans and maxed credits pounced like wolves, garnishing her freelance gig paychecks. She bounced from friend to friend, couch surfing in increasingly sketchy spots, but word spread fast via local news headlines. Daughter's greedy lawsuit boomerangs, now facing eviction and ruin. Friends ghosted her calls, doors slammed in her face. Rock bottom came on a stormy night, thunder rumbling as she showed up at my doorstep, drenched, no umbrella, makeup smeared like war paint, designer bag replaced by a ratty backpack stuffed with what little she had left. "Dad, please," she choked out, voice breaking as rain mixed with tears. "I screwed up. Everything's gone, my home, my car, my dignity. Can I come in? Just talk?" I paused, heart twisting. Elena would have hated seeing her like this, but I opened the door. Not for pity, but for a shot at redemption. We sat at the kitchen table, the same one where we'd had family dinners, and she poured it out, the greed that blinded her, the lies she told herself. Mom owed me for putting up with you, the regret crashing like waves. I thought money would fix everything, but it destroyed me. I didn't yell, I listened. "Soph, this hurts us both, but it's a wake-up call." Court-ordered therapy, she went willingly, unpacking years of entitlement and raw sessions that left her exhausted but clearer. Rebuilding was slow, gritty work, no fairy tale overnight fix. She crashed on my couch for months, following house rules, chores, no demands. Got a barista job at a local coffee shop, early shifts, sore feet, but she stuck it, brewing lattes with a humility I'd never seen. Paid me back in tiny installments, $1.50 here, $100 there, from tips and overtime. I helped where I could, resume tips, budgeting lessons over breakfast. Track every penny, kid, it's freedom, not chains. Our talks deepened, no more surface BS, but real stuff, her fears of failure, my grief over Elena. Scars lingered, I'd catch her staring at old photos, tears silent, I'd wake from nightmares of losing her too. But bonds reformed, stronger, like welded steel. Today, life's a beautiful rhythm of peace and purpose, every day a reminder of how far we've come. I'm still in our warm home, the scent of Elena's favorite lavender candles lingering as I tinker in the garage, classic rock blasting while I restore vintage engines, my passion project that now brings in extra cash. Donated $75,000 to Elena's Cancer Foundation last year, volunteering at their events where I share our story to help families navigate loss. Sophia? She's blossomed, promoted to shift manager at a bustling cafe chain, her own apartment, modest, earned, and an emergency fund she's proud of. "Dad, I saved $2,000, first time ever." She volunteers at a youth center, mentoring teens on financial smarts. Don't chase quick cash, build real value. Sunday dinners are sacred now, her cooking Elena's old recipes, spicy enchiladas steaming on the table, as we laugh over shared memories, no tension, just easy flow. She hugs me fierce at the door, love you, Dad, for real this time. I feel it too, that deep, unshakable warmth, trust rebuilt through fire. No more walking on eggshells, just gratitude, growth, and a family that's tighter for the break. Betrayal from your own kid cuts like nothing else, but it taught us that rock bottom can be the launch pad for real change, if you're willing to fight for it. Have you faced inheritance wars or entitled family drama? What was your turning point, forgiveness, boundaries, or cutting ties? Spill in the comments, your raw stories could light the way for someone drowning in the same mess. If that courtroom twist had you on the edge, smash like, subscribe for more epic family revenge sagas, and share. Would you have let her back in, or shut the door forever? Let's build a community of survivors.